The Philippine Metro Railway infrastructure has developed 3 major lines thus far, from its first metro rail to the metrostar to the megatren. And with the focus of constructing new railway infrastructure by the 2020s, we're now here with the slow rising popularity of the soon-to-ever yet open Bulacan MRT-7 line that is in the works for about 30 years and a construction that's been ongoing for almost 10 years now. So, what is this line? How did this happen? And why is this so interesting, as if it's been under construction since the Renaissance period? The MRT-7 project began its early planning as far as 1995 and was included in the Metro Manila Urban Transport Integration Study by 1999 under what became the MRT Line 4 project at the time. The line would initially span from the busy streets of Recto, Manila to Patasan, Quezon City, then is split at eventually Novaliches or eventually San Mateo, costing over $1 billion at the time, but was not put much into priority considering its lackluster involvement with what was called the Metro Manila Urban Transport Improvement Project, which featured the then ongoing construction of LRT-2 and MRT-3 despite there were newspapers on about the project. MRT-4 was also originally going to undergo a similar build lease transfer project that of how MRT-3 was built, but through initial privatization to Ayala Land alongside other engineering companies, which was later thrown back into the afterburner by 2004 over a policy to re-evaluate unbuilt projects by 1999. So, by 2004, another MRT-4-like project was approved under today's MRT-7 naming scheme that spans from Commonwealth QC to San Jose del Monte, Bulacan, which would be run by the then Universal LRT Corporation consisting of Alstom of different countries and Rentford Assets, who would notably represent SM. But even under its approval, the project was subsequently delayed multiple times because of San Miguel Corporation buying the Universal LRT Corporation in 2010, leading to another similar approval that would specifically span from Commonwealth to Regalado, through Quirino Highway, and San Jose del Monte, totaling to about 73 billion pesos by 2016, alongside the involvement of Hyundai Rodam, EEI, Corail, and other subcontractors to build the station surprisingly. And I say quite surprising for a metro line because if you compare that to something as similar to MRT-3 under a similar time period when the project was proposed, its stations was mostly built and maintained by Sumitomo Corporation till to this day. And so, this would end up foreshadowing what would happen to MRT-7 when they actually started building it. Because by April of 2016, the then President Noynoy Aquino held the line's groundbreaking ceremony by the 20th of April to begin the project's approval to finally build the line, which was expected to finish by 2020. And because of how the project was structured out, it led to right-of-way and contractor-related issues because of local government units or even property owners of certain areas questioning about materializing such space for public use, causing delays in construction and a lackluster location to legally build its very own depot and terminus at San Jose del Monte to store its trains that led to later storing some of them either at the mainline or in Korea. Court hearings were then held to resolve the problem on where to build the depot and thankfully landed with the approval to build it at Novaliches instead in 2019, and eventually the actual construction in 2022 to store all of its trains by 2024, with the progress slowed down by the pandemic and leaving stations like the North Avenue very unfinished. The DOTR even performed a PR stunt to let the now arrested President Duterte experience the line through spending quite a lot of money to power up one of its trains before his term ends. Now it's 2025 under President Marcos, and the line is still unopened with a point of uncertainty. So, when is it going to open now? By the 5th of June 2024, MRT-7 is now expected to operate with only 12 stations towards the bare month in Q4 of 2025, as continued right-of-way issues with Tala and San Jose del Monte stations continue, alongside other reasons not discussed, leaving only the first phase 70% complete. And I say 70% complete because they even have a master plan that would leave them to connect to their own airport in New Manila alongside looping towards the previous segments of the Metro Rail. But with the current progress, the stations and the depot beside me, which I cannot film but remains mostly unfinished, unfortunately, if you were to ask me, they may as well open by 2026 or by the time I would be graduating high school because of the OTR's plans of changing contractors, while Common Station 2 remains under construction.